Get in, let's go. Yeah, she wanna ride with the damn boss. I told her go down like a drop top. These kilowatts blaze socks off. Okay, so what? She wanna ride with the damn boss. Free head back when I take off. These kilowatts blaze socks off. Okay, so what? She wants to ride for the clout, then opens her mouth and I shoot it down south. Park at the bay, treat my shit like it's Kenny. She loves that iron, she's calling it Fetty. Okay, boss moves, 15k on her costumes. That bitch slayed on a lot, dude. Better look both ways when she cross you, yeah. Body and club when we ride. Suicide doors in the vice, feel them right. Penthouse floor, hit it twice in a night. Leaving her raw, then we stare at the sky, that's right. Feeling as high as a kite, but she's fake. Living it up and she lies to your face. But fuck they say at the end of the day. She's fucking so I say she can. She's fucking good, so I say she can stay. She's me good, so I say she can stay. She's good, so I say she can stay. She's fucking good, so I say she can stay. Yeah, she wanna ride with the damn boss. I told her go down like a drop top. These kilowatts blaze socks off. Okay, so what? She wanna ride with the damn boss. Free head back when I take off. These kilowatts blaze socks off. Okay, so what? I'll tear up the track like I'm Brocky. Give him the sauce, mix it up like it's Gnocchi. Continue to knock me, then hate when you cross me. Fuck cause my baddie's Foxy. I'ma do it all just for you, girl. This is my life, it's a win well. Love of my hype, it's a new world. I carry this weight like an armed girl. Fuck, not here to stay, but we play by the day. The second I fall, you'll be turning away. But it's okay, cause I know that I'm great. As soon as you go, I'll be at it again. As soon as you go, I'll be dropping your name. I got it in ink on my arm yesterday. And we go around way like a Mazda, it's fate. But don't hate the play, you should hate the... Don't hate the play, you should hate the game. Don't hate the play, you should hate the game. Don't hate the play, you should hate the game. Don't hate the play, you should hate the game. Yeah, she wanna ride with the damn boss. I told her go down like a drop top. These kilowatts blaze socks off. Okay, so what? She wanna ride with the damn boss. Free head back when I take off. These kilowatts blaze socks off. Okay, so what? Okay, so what? Okay, so what? Okay, so what? Okay, so what?
Guys, 2025, done. Nada. Over. Boom. We're out. So here's the recap. I'm going to start with the racing. Then I'm going to move on to YouTube, car shows, all that stuff. And then I've got questions and answers. Now, I posted on Dradamo Motorsport's Facebook, and I want you to like that, by the way. I posted on there and I said, hey, give me some questions and I'll answer them. And I've been bombarded. And it's awesome because I love the engagement. Always try and engage with people. Always try and talk to yous and everything else. And obviously at a car show, he's come up and I'm there, I'm walking around on video and I'm doing my thing, you know, and you're like, oh, hey, I like your YouTube channel. It's like, hey, man, thanks. I really love hearing it. And I really, really appreciate it. But I've got shit to do. I'm on my way. I'm videoing. I've got to keep going. So appreciate it. Love yous for it. Keep doing it. Talk to me after when the camera's down by my hip. But anyway, let's get on to the racing because that's what this channel started with. I'm a race car driver. That's what I do. I started off doing Carnicross, which is like a dirt rally short course type thing. I then went into doing hill climbs. I've got other forms of racing that I'd love to do, but we'll get to that in the questions and answers. So right now, racing. I did 7 events this year. That's it. That's a big, big loss compared to what I did last year. Last year I did like 18 events, and you know, in various forms. I did the Carnicross. I did, what did I do? 3 rounds of the Carnicross, and I rolled the car. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Then I did all of the State Hill Climb Championship. I did all of the Carnicross Tarmac Series at Ringwood. I think that might have been it. But yeah, either way, I did a lot of racing, and I love the racing. That's where my heart's at. That's the good, fun stuff, and that's what I want to keep doing. But this year I just did the State Hill Climb Championship. I managed to pull second in the championship, like in my class. And that was racing my little Mazda 3. So shout out to Hunter Valley Performance. They came on as my major sponsor. They sponsor all the videos. They sponsor my racing. They just great people in general. Scott, Allison and the team. Gussie, their son. They're all spun spanners on, well, Allison hasn't, but they've all helped in their ways. And even, taking me away and whatnot on holiday, to go racing with them, which I'll get to all that. But so yeah, the racing this year, it was successful. I came second in the championship in my class. I'm happy with that. Next year, we'll get to that. But yeah, I'm hoping to do maybe a little bit better. Maybe. But yeah, so that's the racing. That's done. Right, so let's move on to YouTube. Coming into 2025, I had 860 subscribers, which, thank you. All 860 of you, thank you. That is awesome. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it. But those numbers, rookie numbers, we've got to get them up. So sitting here right now, I'm up to 2,238 subscribers, which, awesome. Thank you so much, guys. But we've got goals. We're going up. Now, if someone like Clay Wong can have 160-odd thousand subscribers or whatever he's got, and he's walking around doing what he's doing and upsetting everybody, which we're going to get to him, why can't I? What's he got that I don't? Is it because he's Penny Wong's nephew? Who knows? But we're going to get there. We're going to climb up. So the goal for next year, we've got a high goal. I'm going to get to that because we've got these questions and answers coming up next. But yeah, so thank you everybody who's subscribed. I really appreciate it. If you haven't, you know what to do. Hit it. Subscribe. Got to do it. And yeah, but anyway, so statistically speaking, I mean, I've more than doubled my, I've nearly tripled what my following is this year. And I mean, I'm hoping it'll just keep growing. That's the goal. So anyway, let's move on to the fun stuff, the questions and answers. That's what everyone's come here for. That's what everyone's dying for. And I'm going to start with my buddy Pugs. So Pugsy, you've seen him in the video. He looks a bit like, he's got the tattoo down there, a bit like Mike Tyson. And he had this message for Clay Wong.
Yeah, so Jakey Boy's making a recap video of 2025. It's going to be the last one of the year. He's asking people to help out, what was their best memories, best car shows, etc. And what they'd like to see maybe in 2026. Well, here's something. What about Mr. Clay Wong? Hey, that's right, Mr. Wong, I'm talking to you. How about you come make an amends with the people of Newcastle? And that fucking shit stain you left behind last time, just fucking take that with ya and come back here and, do the right thing by the people of Newcastle. I reckon that'd be something and an idea that could happen in 2026. What do you reckon, eh? And to everyone else, I hope you all have a safe and happy new year. Cheers.
Right, so as you see, Pugsy, my friend, he's a little bit wild, bit, funny in the head and whatnot, likes a, But basically, look, the long and the short of it is, what Clay did to him was wrong. He asked Clay, he said, I'll talk to you and I'll tell you some stuff, but you're not to record me? No way, no how, do not want to be on your video. Clay, camera at the hip, like this. Recorded him anyway, put it all in there. That's not on. But then to add insult to injury, puts his face in the thumbnail and puts him, the Newcastle street racing and all of this as the bloody thumbnail and the like. I get it. And you know what, Clay, if you see this, which you probably won't, you got all your subscribers and whatever, you don't care about low bloody level guys like me. But I've learned a bit from you. The clickbait, the titles, the thumbnails, I get that from you now. I'm learning. Honestly, thank you. I believe that I've probably gained quite a few subscribers using your methods and tagging you and everything else. And as a matter of fact, I'll tag you in this video too. But anyway, Pugsy's had his piece. Clay, contact us, mate. We'll take you out. We'll show you the real Newcastle. As Pug said, just apologise. You did the wrong thing. You probably didn't try to upset anyone. You probably didn't try and hurt anyone by doing it. But you did. You upset them. So apologise. we'll move on from it. Right, let's move on to the Q&A. Questions and answers. Now, some of the questions that I got were bellissimo. They were excellent. And then some of them were like, do you prefer LS or a Barra? Well, yeah, of course horses. We'll get to that. That is a good question. That is a good question. I'll give you that. But this was a really good question. Now, some people, they said, say who I am, say my name, say what I drive, whatever, I don't care. Others, they said they want to remain anonymous, and I respect that. So this one was an anonymous question, and the person who asked, they basically asked me what my take was on women in motorsport and some of the arrogance that they get from men, like fellow competitors, particularly the older generation. So this one's a hard one, right? Like, I respect women in motorsport. I love women in motorsport, you know? But there are things like, so Renee Gracie, right? What she did to get to where she is, I respect that. However, I've got a daughter. I've got 2 stepdaughters. I don't particularly want them to go, well, if I create an OnlyFans, I can get to wherever I want to be. So look, get to where you want to be, however you got to get there. I'm cool with that. But little girls looking up to someone doing OnlyFans I think this is the reason why a lot of women in motorsport get a bit of a bad name. Now, I personally, Renee Gracie's hot. I'm all for it. I don't watch OnlyFans. I don't subscribe to that. But, what do I say? What do I say here? But look, her aside, men treating women different in motorsports, regardless if they do OnlyFans or whatever, it's not on. If a chick beats me, I'm going to walk up and I'm going to say, hey, good job. If a dude beats me, I'm going to walk up and I'm going to say, hey, good job. I couldn't care less. You could be black, you could be white, you could be yellow, man, woman, child. I don't care. What if a kid beat me? I'd be even more excited. But yeah, so that's my take on this whole thing in women in motorsports. Like, I think that everyone needs to have a fair go. And anyone who's sort of saying, nah, you can't do this or whatever, or getting upset, like this particular person said that, they've seen incidences where people have got physically aggressive and carried right on because they got beaten by a chick. Like, if your ego's that small, I'll happily feed you your teeth. I don't care how old you are. I'll come over and I'll punch you right in the mouth. I see that stuff at the track. I'm gonna level the playing field very quickly. So anyway, let's hope that I don't see that, because I don't want to get banned from motorsports. Next question. Now, this is a cool one. This is Denver Prowse. He's asked me, what would be my ultimate car? Now, that's such a broad... Like, I have about 7 cars. I'd have to count. I don't know how many cars I have. I don't know my ultimate car. If I had to have just one car for everything, I'd probably have... And if money was no object, I'd probably have like a brand new Ram TRX with like all the fruit. So if you've seen the latest Fast and the Furious movie, there's a snippet. It's where little Brian and whatever the brother's name was, Mark Wahlberg, I think played. No, it was John Cena played. No, was it? Yeah, John Cena. I think it was. I don't know. But anyway, this black Ram, right? And they run out the back, and the kid goes to get in, and he's like, "No, not that car. This car." And then the kid goes to get in the Fox body Mustang, and he's like, ah. So that Ram, that was built by a company called Kibitech. They're over in America. That car, that would be my ultimate if I could only have one car. But I'll never only have one car. That's not me. So for me, I'd love to have like a really smick, like really, really hotted up, naturally aspirated Honda Civic K24, like, 350, 400 horsepower, no interior, full-blown race car, cambered out wheels, like the whole lot, but like schmick race car, like spec race car, but road registered, because I like to have road registered stuff. What's the point of having it if you can't drive it? Then I'd love to have a trophy truck, to race. That'd just be like a proper class 4 Mason truck or something. That would be unreal. as far as like a street car, I'd love to have like a really hot muscle car. Like I used to have an XD Falcon. I'd love another XD, but like full house. You know, I'm talking like 408 cube roll cage. Craig's car. Craig Walker, but nicer. Like, no offense, but just, you know, like show quality, but that build quality of motor and running gear and whatnot, the roll cage, the whole lot, like tough street strip muscle car. That would be sick. I love imports. Supra, something like that would be sick. I'm a little bit big for a Supra, but I do quite like Supras. I fit in an FD-RX-7, I found out, so it's tight, but yeah, I quite like them as well. But yeah, so as far as an ultimate car, like, I love luxury cars too. I used to have an E500 Mercedes-Benz. I'd love another one, but like a later model, like a new one, you know. But that'd be like an everyday car, you know, just to go into the shops, get bread and milk, get in my E500, you know, hit the button, suspension comes up a bit, drive out the driveway, you know, it'll back down, you know, airbags, that'd be sick. But yeah, ultimate car, it's just such a hard one for me. I want them all. Now, I really should have thought about all this, and I should have actually had these out in like a better order or something, you know, these questions, because I'm sort of going all over the place. I'm going from ultimate women in motorsports to ultimate car to now next question from Willis Crop is about the track expansion at Ringwood Motorsport Park. Now, it's not actually track expansion. Circuit Italia is its own thing. It's got nothing to do with Ringwood Motorsport Park, but the MG Car Club that owns the Ringwood Motorsport Park actually sold them the land many, many years ago. So yeah, Circuit Italia, it's its own whole thing. I personally don't know a whole lot about it because it's out of my price range. I can't afford to go there.
I don't have any money, dude. Okay. I'm broke, man. My life sucks.
I know currently they've got a deal, $600 for a half day with an open pit, limited to 25 cars on a weekday. That's about as far as I know. So they do have a Facebook page if you wanted to go out and do a bit of racing. It's not Motorsport Australia, like it's not competitive racing, timed racing like what I do. They're just track days. It's no different to going to a go-kart track, just in a bigger, cooler car, and well, it's your own car. But yeah, it's just a big go-kart track essentially. Now this next one, it's more of a it's less of a question, more of a suggestion, I guess, and I quite like it. Jadamo Motorsports Show and Shine. Now this was by Brooke Farrington, and yes, let's do it. I'm keen. Help me organise it. But yeah, something that I would like to do in the future. I've actually planned previously. I've had this all planned out in my head and thought, oh, I know what I'm going to do here, but we'll see. I think I've got an idea. I might run it by you, mate. That's a good one. I like that. Now, young Jared, he came at me with a few questions. Now, I'm going to answer two of them for you, mate. First one was about my Mazda. Do I have any more plans for modifications, big turbos or whatnot? And the simple answer is no. That car is not getting any more modifications. If anything, might get some better suspension under it, or it might get the suspension ripped out and standard stuff put back into it. That's my daily driver. I've got a new race car for next year. I don't need to make that do anything special. Now, the reason I don't go turboing it and doing all that stuff already is because I'm a class racer. So the class that I race in is an under 2500cc road registered class in state hill climb. If I go and put a turbo on that car, it'll take me, so it's times 1.7 or times 2. Time 1.7 or something. Anyway, it takes the capacity over the 2500. I can still race it, but I'd just be in a different class. Now, the class that I'd go into is over 2.5 litres road registered. If I'm in that class, my competition is Jason Perkins in his Lotus Exige. I can't compete against that. You know, that guy gets fastest tin top and all sorts of stuff in that car. It's literally a supercharged Lotus Exige. Like, it's a supercar. So yeah, so that's why I don't go doing turbos and big power mods and stuff on my little Mazda race car. So Jared's second question was YouTube and what inspired me to get into doing YouTube. Now, the long and the short of it is being a race car driver, I need a lot of money or a lot of sponsors. And what better way to get sponsors than to make YouTube and do sponsored content, you know, push a brand, push a business, so that I can afford to do what I'm doing. So, example, Hunter Valley Performance, my major sponsor. Without them doing the work they do to my cars and taking me to events and everything, I could still do this, but it'd be a lot harder. So why not make it a bit easier on myself? It's marketing, you see? So that's obviously not the only reason I got into it, but that was a big push for me, was to be able to put myself out there and say, hey, I'm a race car driver and this is what I do, and, you know, sponsor me, like help me get out there. And in return, I'll promote your business, I'll promote your brand, yada, yada, yada. So I was inspired by Ken Block, BJ Baldwin, Travis Pastrana, obviously now doing all the Hoonigan stuff, but all these edits that they were doing were amazing. That Jim Carner series that Ken Block did, that was awesome. I've always had a real interest in film and editing, and yeah, like even back to my grandfather, he worked on the set of Skippy. He was doing film stuff back then, so I mean it sort of runs in my blood. But yeah, that's pretty much where, like, a lot of it for me, the start of it was a business decision to try and get sponsors and whatnot on board and continuing doing what I was doing, because it was in my head. It was the way I could see a way forward. You know, a bit like Renee Gracie with doing OnlyFans. She did what she did to get to where she is. I've done the same. Now, it's the same again for me doing the car content, like the car shows and the car meets and everything. I never had an interest in doing that until it just sort of happened. It was like, oh, you know, I'm not doing even last year, you know, do 17, 18 races or whatever, go do some car shows as well. And that's what blew up. And don't get me wrong, I love doing that. And especially the opportunities it's brought, you know. On the last weekend, I was driving around in a VK, little trumpets out the bonnet and everything, you know, the car that was the showstopper of the whole event. I got to drive it, you know, 45 minutes from the event back to the Hunter Valley. Previous to that, you know, I think in the same month, I got to drive a blown HQ, you know, to an event. Same thing, stop the whole show. You know, I'm coming in, going, you know, big buddy on the cam and on the blower, doing all the blower surge. Everybody's looking and there's me. Yeah. So yeah, the opportunities that it's brought, unreal. And yeah, that's been the big push with the whole YouTube thing, is just trying to get somewhere with it. Righto, so the next one I'm going to assume is from Cash, because he runs the Garage Talk Facebook page. Are you racing in the New South Wales Hill Climb Championship? Well, let's see. I did last year and the year before. I think I will. Yes, mate. Yes, I will be racing in the New South Wales Hill Climb Championship next year. And he also informed me they have on the 8th of the 3rd next year, they're going to hold another one of their hill climb days at Ringwood, and he asked if I'll be attending that. The answer to that one, mate, we'll see. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty booked up. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to say yes. I'd like to say I'll be there, but I'm not going to commit. Now, this one's a personal favourite. Have I seen John's A4 piece of paper? I know exactly where you're going with that one, Jamie. Oh. Right, so the next one's back to motorsports again. Now, this one's Mega Monkey Media and Motorsports. So this one's Alex, right? And it's planned for motorsport in 2026, Motorcarna, Carnacross, Autocross, Super Sprint, any championships. So I am looking to make a return to the dirt, and I want to do the dirt Carnacross. Whether or not I will be able to, I don't know. I'm going to try. I really want to try. Motorcarna, I reckon I'd get lost. So for those that don't know, Motorcarna, you have like a point here. There's no, it's like a car park. It's like, imagine a square, and you got your dots in it. and you got to come sort of like Gymkhana, and you got to go around and do all this. Man, I can't even do it on the Xbox. I was trying to play this Car X drifting thing, and there's a Gymkhana track. I just kept getting lost, and that's got the line that actually follows around. So yeah, no Motorcanas for me. I've never done one. I've really got no interest in it. Autocross, yes. I've got to find out what the latest advance on Rally at near Coffs Harbour on their track. I know they do autocross up there. I've really wanted to get into autocross for quite a while. That's door to door. You've got two cars on the track. I did inquire into it quite a while back, and they sort of sent me a message back saying something about my Rodeo not being suitable and whatnot, and I'd be better off with a Mirage or something. And I put it down at the time to they just think a Rodeo would be slow, which definitely isn't. However, I do think it could also be a bit of a safety concern, and I mean, we have seen what happened with my Rodeo. But yeah, I'll be doing the New South Wales Hill Climb Championship as stated before. Also like to do the MG Car Club's Tarmac Carnacross Championship and see what else happens. I mean, you got Colo Heights, you got Nabiac. Like, there are quite a few different places around. If I can get back on the dirt, there's a lot of opportunities, and I'd love to do a lot more motorsports in 2026. So the next one's by Jason Battersby, and he's asking if I know anything about what's going on at the location for where we do the Huntley Park Up, which is like our local car meet that we do on the first Saturday of every month, I think it is. I should know. I'm an admin on the page. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we're sweet to keep doing it for quite a while there. This is the first I'm hearing of it. So I have no idea, mate. Sorry. Next question was Brian. Sorry, not Brian. What's your name? Barry McGuinness. Or Meganus. I don't know. How do I say it? What is it? Bloody Greek name or something, Barry? Magennis? Barry Magennis? Oh, I know you well. I should know how to say your last name. But anyway, what products or services does Jadamo Motorsports do? Well, I assume that's like a generic message from the message button on the Facebook. But funny you say that, mate. I actually do have some stuff in the works, and I'd like to have a product out very soon, but we'll see. That's in the future. So now we're back to the Huntley Park Up. Rob Smith, creator of the Huntley Park Up, he actually asked a really good question, and that's have I ever thought of forming a car club with Jadamo Motorsports? Now, it's a funny story. The word Jadamo is my name. It's the first two letters of my name. It's a made-up word that I came up with when I was a teenager. Now, I was a bit of a delinquent, as you can probably see, and I used to tag stuff up and whatnot. Never people's personal stuff, but, if it was council or whatever, it was fair game, and Jadamo was one of the things that I used to do. Now, as I got to about 15 years old, I think I was, when I started my car club. So I was 15 when I got my first car. And, like every 15-year-old, every teenager, they get their first car, the first thing they want to do is start a car club. So I started a car club, and it was Jadamo. But instead of motorsports, it was performance and styling underneath. Now, we grew to quite a few members, mostly Central Coast based, bit of Newcastle. And, we actually had a very, very, decent club back around, I'm going to say 2005 to 2008, I'm going to say, roughly. Well, I know about 2005 would have started, so nearly 20 years ago. And anyway, long story short, I got out of cars for a bit, got into four-wheel driving and doing other stuff. My mate Mitchell, he sort of was still doing the whole car thing, and I just said, hey, you can take over, you can have the club for a bit and whatever. So a funny thing was, a few years back when I kicked off Jadamo Motorsports again with the racing, I messaged him and said, hey man, do you happen to have all the files and stuff so that I can get the logo and everything right? And so he sent it all through to me, and he's still got, I'll put it on the screen, he's still got his old Jadamo stuff hanging on the wall. So so no, it was actually, that's sort of how Jadamo started. It was a car club years and years and years ago, and I've got no interest in doing that now. It's just too many headaches, too much drama. You'd know yourself from doing the Huntley Park Up how much drama and stuff comes from just saying, oh, let's go park on the grass and meet up once a month. You know, too much responsibility gets put on you, and you know, if someone, like, I'll give out stickers, I'll give out that many stickers, and if one of my stickers ends up on a police car or on a government building or somewhere it shouldn't, I don't want to be responsible for it. Because at this point, if they came to me and say, oh, your sticker's on a police car, I'd laugh and say, oh, that's funny, I'll give them out. Like, what do you want me to do about it? I don't know who I've given it to. Whereas if for a club, different story. Righto, so Scott Lucas, he's got 2 questions. First one is, am I going to Summer Nights? And hell yes, I am. And second one was, what got me into cars? Which, I don't know. It was like one of the first words I ever said as a kid. Like, apparently when I was a little kid, I'd be in the back of the car and I'd be telling my mum and dad what sort of cars were going past us, like as a kid, like as a little kid. So I don't know what actually got me into cars, if there was a specific moment in time that got me into them. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, but as a kid, there's 3 things I wanted to be. And I was a bikie, tattooist, and a race car driver. And well, the first, how do we do that? The first 2, they came a bit quicker. You know, I did all that, and when I got away from all that and sort of grew up, I turned around and said, you know what, I'll be a race car driver now. So that was in 2016. I was still a bikie, but yeah, I made that decision. I got my first Hilux and I started doing all the off-road stuff, and it was 2019 that I actually got my Motorsport Australia license. So it took me a few years to sort of get into it. You know, a lot of secret squirrel business, trying to join clubs and, you know, get started in it. You know, it wasn't an easy process, but there's actually a future question that I'm going to get to that sort of goes through that and try and explain it for a few people. But yeah, so hope I answered that one right anyway. Next one, Terry Mills. So Millsy, I met in Queensland doing the Road Trip Drag Challenge, and his question is, am I coming back to Queensland for any future events? And hell yeah, I am. What's on? Let's go. Of course I'm coming back to Queensland. I love Queensland. I'd consider moving to Queensland if the weather was better. Now, people are probably wondering, what do you mean if the weather was better? Well, they have storms that just come out of nowhere and destroy everything. And I was in one of those storms, as was he, at Warwick at the Dragway. And myself and Scott and Allison and his daughter Michaela, we're all there, all the Hunter Valley Performance crew. We're all there hanging on for our lives under this big marquee, trying to keep it from going and destroying everything. And yeah, no, we got saturated, everything got destroyed. It was terrible. So if you haven't watched that video, you got to go watch that video. It's like a 3-hour long video, but it's worth it. Like, that's one that you kick back and you spend the arvo, you get your snacks and stuff ready, you pause it for a toilet break. That's a good video. Righto. My mate Craig, he's hit me up with a bomb of questions. Now, I kind of feel like I should limit how many questions one person gets, but these are actually really quality questions. So, first one, where do I see myself in 5 years? Well, who knows? I can guess, I can dream, I can speculate, but I have no idea. I would have never seen myself here where I am in 5 years. 5 years previous to that, I didn't even think I'd be alive at this point. So, where do I see? So, we'll find out. Subscribe. If I'm still doing this in 5 years, we might know. But yeah, good question. But then yeah, sub numbers next year. Now, what my goal is for 2026, I want to try and hit 10k. That's the goal. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Statistically speaking, with the growth and everything else, hopefully it will. But we'll see. The next one he asks was, what was the best show / video of this year? Like, what was the best show and video and whatnot that I did? I don't know. I've loved them all. I often don't get to watch my videos, so I don't know sort of what's in them as far as how good the video is. I mean, I can only assume that they're good while I edit them. And the fact people keep subscribing and whatnot, I think they're good. But the best show, I don't know. Newcastle Jap Day, that was pretty good. Newey JDM Day was really good. I don't know. That's about as far as my memory goes back. I'm a little bit, I knew his Super Cruise was sick. But at the same time, I knew his Super Cruise I saw through a screen because I didn't get there till 9 p.m. That one where I drove your Impala, that was cool. So Craig's got a juiced 64 Impala rag top. There's actually a shirt on my store, and you can buy it. But yeah, that was pretty cool because I got to drive the car. Wow, my neighbours just started doing whippersnipping. What a fuck.
5 hours later.
Righto, so before I was rudely interrupted with that whippersnipper, and then, dragged out of the house, gone to Costco, got some dinner, everything else. I believe I was up to the part where Craig was asking me about, best show and whatnot. Look, I don't remember. The best car, this was one that he asked me as well. This was one of his 10 bloody questions. The best car that's been on my channel. Honestly, don't know. I've had all sorts of cool things. I've had awesome opportunities, including, and I appreciate this, Craig, driving your 1964 Impala rag top. Like, that's sick. That is a cool car. Bit of a death trap. I mean, I wish you'd get the brakes fixed. You really need to get that thing in Hunter Valley Performance and let Scott do his magic. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I really don't know what the best car, like one of my favourite car that's been on the channel would be. Like, I like them all. So yeah, that's about as good as I can get on that one. Another thing he asked was collaborations. Now, Redriven, that's a collaboration I'd like to do. Mighty Car Mods, possibly. I mean, they're a very different style to me, but they've got some cool toys. Bad Q Garage, that's a dude, that's Dave. I'll be seeing him at Summonat, so that's gonna be cool. But yeah, I mean, look, if I wanted to go like big time, like dream stuff, Western Champlin, that'd be cool. He's currently got Kyle over there, Luxifer, so he doesn't need another Aussie. But yeah, Western Champlin, that's a channel that I watch a lot, and yeah, that'd be cool. I wouldn't mind being a part of doing something with him. Right, now this is a good one. Russell Jones has asked, what is the process of joining the MG Car Club Newcastle? Now, some of you be thinking, why the hell would you want to join an old fuddy-duddy club like that? And you're dead right. There's a lot of fuddy-duddies there. But they own Ringwood Motorsport Park. Now, the club, that is your gateway to doing motorsport events. You join the club. I think it's about $80 a year. You then get your Motorsport Australia license, and that's it. You don't have to go to meetings. You don't have to associate with these guys. Don't get me wrong. There's some bloody great guys there, and I really enjoy seeing some of these guys and have some great friendships there. There's also a few guys that, I think to myself, oh, this guy. And you know what? The feeling's probably mutual. But basically the process is this. You get onto www.mgcarclub.com, I think, .au, maybe. .org, I don't know. I'll Google it and I'll put it here. I'll make sure I got the right link. But you get on there, follow the prompts. It's like top left of the screen, go down, contact us, whatever. There'll be phone numbers, there'll be emails. You'll figure it out. It's not terribly hard. But once you join the club, you go through the email process, whatever, you'll get your number. Like, you'll have your official club number. Then you go on a Motorsport Australia website and you go through and you select through your windows and whatever, you get your license. Now, this is not a license test. It's not like going for your P's or your blacks or whatever. This is just a money grab. It's insurances, it's whatever, but you go through, you get license. So you got to join the car club first, then you get your license. From there, then you got to go onto the bloody Motorsport Australia portal and go through to join all your bloody races and stuff. It's honestly, it's a pain in the ass. Back when I started out, you could show up. Now, I started out in a club called West Lakes Auto Club. They're based at a Wobber, and they have a rally track essentially across the road from the tip. So here's the kicker, guys. You don't have to join the MG Car Club. I mean, I encourage that you do. That's the club that I'm in, and it's a great club. However, before I was in the MG Car Club, and I've actually done a number more years. This year was the first year. 2025 was the first year I wasn't a member there. And that's purely because I wasn't doing dirt events. I'll be a member there again next year. But West Lakes Auto Club, that's the club I started in, and that's the club I'll always be in. Now, I've been a member of multiple clubs because basically to collect points in a championship for club rounds, you have to be a member of that club. So when I was racing Colo, doing the Carnicross down there, I joined the Sydney Off-Road Racing Association so I could collect points for the championship. You collect points in the championship, you get your trophies, you get your awards, you go to their dinners, you do all that stuff. Big social thing. It's something to put on the mantle, you know, like it's cool. But if you just want to go out and do whatever, so for me doing the State Hill Climb Championship, wouldn't matter what club I was in, as long as it's a Motorsport Australia affiliated club, you're golden. But yeah, but anyone, like I said, I'll put the website up. I'll make sure it's the right website because I can't remember it off the top of my head. But yeah, it's not a tedious thing. It's a little bit, if you're like me, it's a little bit like, you know, you go, you want to shake the laptop screen and, you know, whatever, but it's not too bad. You'll get through it. If the old 80-year-olds can do it, I'm sure you can too. Now, this is a funny one I've heard a million times, mostly from the same bloke. Tony, shit like motorsport. I'm not K-swapping my laser, mate. The laser is currently actually in Hunter Valley Performance getting some work done on it. It's not getting a K-swap. That's not happening. I did not buy my Honda Accord Euro to pull it apart. I bought it to race it. A K-swap in a laser would be cool. I know it's been done. I think we've actually had that conversation. It's been done overseas, an all-wheel drive swap with CRV running gear and everything else. It'd be really cool. But no, I'm not doing that. This is a funny one. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Now, scientifically speaking, I'd say the egg came first because it would have formed in, you know, the microbionisms and whatever, and it formed, and then out come the chicken. But I have no idea. I'm talking out my ass. Another question about the Honda. When are we going to see it? All right, cool. Well, I've put up one video which was going and getting it. I think I called it something like buying the cheapest JDM car in Australia or something like that. Which, yeah, technically, I mean, I paid $800 for the thing, so it upset a few people that I got it so cheap. But, you know, what can I say? I got the gift of the gab. I rocked up there. The paint's a bit, you know, the clutch is a bit, like, it is a pretty rough car, to be totally honest. It's got 300 and something thousand Ks. I know what's underneath, though. It's got good bones. It's a K24 A2 motor. It's a 6-speed manual. It wasn't crunching gears or anything. You know, the clutch is well and truly on its way out. That's okay. We can polish this up and we can make something out of it. So when are we going to see it? Hopefully soon, because the first race for it is in March, and that's only 3 months away. So we've got to get onto it. Right, now this one's Torsten Schonsky. Now, I hope I'm saying your name right, man. I really apologise if I'm not. But basically he's asked for like a segment, it was almost more of a suggestion to say I should do a segment on, like, you know, the good, the bad and the ugly of doing modified stuff to your car, you know, and like reviews, what's a good parts and whatnot. So, I mean, look, I'll leave it to this. If there's a company or somebody watching that wants to send me some stuff that I can use, that's things that I can use and review, sweet, I'll do it. In my own personal experience, I couldn't tell you. Honestly, I'm a bit stuck on that one. Sorry, dude. But you know, like I said, yeah, if someone's watching, they've got product and stuff, you know, they want to send me and I can use it and review it and whatever. Let's go. Right, so Stoney hit me with a couple of questions. One was, what shits me about the car scene? Money. Money shits me about the car scene. People who have got lots of money or lots of debt, but either way they do these big dollar builds and they walk around like this. They think their shit don't stink. Man, I couldn't care if you showed up in a $500 car with spinner hubcaps on it and you get out, you're a cool guy, I'll talk to you. I don't care. Be humble. You know, I've had some big dollar cars too, don't you worry about that. But at the end of the day, who gives a shit? Right? You walk around with your chest out and someone like me will take your car off you. That's the long and the short of it. You want to come and be a smart ass and, you know, yeah, my car's so good, someone's going to punch your teeth down your throat, mate. They're going to take your keys and then they're going to say to you, sign the car over or you're going to lose your head as well as your keys. That's how it goes. That's the real world. But yeah, that's what shits me about the car scene. Other thing that shits me about the car scene is some of the influencers. You get these influencers that are out there. I mean, look, I'm kind of almost like an influencer now, I suppose, but you get these influencers and they're walking around, they're like, hi guys, we're at this car meet, and and like they got their bleach blonde hair, and they're like these little skinny dudes walking around, and they're just, but then they got all this like mad cars, like I won't name names, but like some of these dudes, like I think to myself, who wants to watch this? Like, who's looking up to these guys? Now I don't think I'm better than anyone, but I think I'd probably be a bit more relatable than some of these little rich kids that are, nothing wrong with that. Nothing, But yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Do you finger our boy?
Don't you get wacky on me.
So Stoney's other question was, do I think we have one of the biggest car scenes in Newcastle and Hunter Valley area in Australia? Now, my answer is no. I don't think we've got one of the biggest, but I think we've got one of the best. And I base that on the fact of you'll see modified cars every single day of the week in Newcastle. You can walk, you can drive down a back street, you can get lost and go, oh, I'm in Katara. Oh no, I need to turn that way, I need to get back that way to go to the shop. And you pull down the street and there'll be a 10-second car just sitting on the street. That's cool. And that's a regular thing in the Newcastle area. So I don't think we've got the biggest scene. We definitely have a massive scene, but I mean, you look at Sydney, Sydney's huge. You look at Melbourne, Melbourne's huge. You look at Queensland, like surfers, and Brisbane, that's huge. Like, and when I'm saying huge, I mean the amount of people, the amount of area, the mass. Look at Newcastle and Hunter Valley. I mean, Newcastle's this tiny little condensed city like this. Hunter Valley, yeah, we're a bit more spread out. But you look at the whole thing, we still don't have the population, probably of like say Bankstown, in the whole area. We, like you go to Surfers Paradise, you got all these big high rises, chock-a-block full of people. You've got mass populace. Melbourne, like huge population of people. So yeah, there's going to be more of them. There're going to be more modified cars. There's going to be more better everything. But they don't just have their stuff laying around. They're not getting out and using them like we are. Newcastle has an amazing car scene, and I compare, like, to me, Newcastle's like the Detroit. We're like the Motor City. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Leave a comment, tell me what you think. But yeah, that's what I think. So Scott Lovett asks, what's the best car event I've been to date? Man, I don't know. Like, honestly, I've been to so many this year, and they've all been relatively good. Even some of the smaller ones, just in their own way, they've been good. I went to an event at Singleton and it had 6 cars. That's it. But it was still good because I got to hang out and chat to people more in depth. Like, I actually got to sort of talk to people and mingle, in a way that I normally don't get to at an event. So I mean, I can't put my finger on the best event, but yeah, like they've all been pretty good. The one that I saw you at the other day, that was pretty good. One where I was in that VK, that was a cool event. Little Ryder Hill, a little buddy. He asks, what's the best event of the year? Which again, we just covered. I don't really know best event. If I was going to go as far as saying one specific thing, I'd say the drag challenge in Queensland. So it was the road trip drag challenge. And it wasn't just the event itself, it was just the experience. Jumping on board with Hunter Valley Performance, taking the Subaru WRX up there. I drove for quite a bit of the event. I didn't race it. Scott did all the racing. But basically we started off Lakeside Raceway in up close to like north of Brisbane, and then from there we had to drive all the way out to this pub way out in the middle of nowhere, and then back all the way down to Warwick, and then stay at Warwick the night. Then we raced Warwick and we back up, and from Warwick went to, what's it called, it's near Ipswich there, Willowbank, that's it. And then yeah, raced there the next day, so we went, we went Lakeside to Warwick, Lakeside to the pub, down to Warwick, stayed the night in Warwick, raced all day Warwick, did big night there at Warwick. The next night we had the tornado or hurricane, whatever you call it, come through and nearly kill us. And then the next day we went up to Willowbank and then back up to Scott's place there in Queensland. So I mean, I was away for a total of about 5 days. I had an absolute ball, great time, great friends. That's my favourite event this year. This one's a good one. This is a piss take. This is my buddy Outback Jack. He asks, when am I going to make the upgrade to a 2ZZ Corolla? And look, man, I wanted to. I really did. Not a Corolla, I wanted a Celica. I wanted the 1.8 ZZ, 2ZZ, whatever it is, 6-speed manual. Hill Climb Harry has one, and it's fast. Like, there's another dude, Mark, he's in Queensland, he's got one as well, and yeah, they hook. But we'll see if you can get me my Honda. So this is a generic one, LS or Barra. I could just be boring and just go Barra, or I could be boring and I could go LS. But I'm a believer of horses for courses. Now, if I was going to build a cruiser, if I was going to build like a street, like say something like that VK I was driving the other day, right? That's got LS3 in it. Perfect motor. Wouldn't put a Barra in that. You know, my XD 351 that I had years ago, I wouldn't go as far as putting an LS in it, but I wouldn't want a 6-cylinder in it either. But if I was going to drag race it, I'd put a Barra in it with a big turbo, and and that's the thing. Like, horses for courses. I had a high horsepower Barra, and it was amazing. It just wanted to kill me all the time. I could spin the wheels on the freeway from 120 kilometers an hour. I could just plant it and they'd just light up, and cars behind you wouldn't be able to see what was going on. Like, it was ridiculous. But yeah, no, look, I don't have a preference in the sense of one or the other. I just believe that it depends on what you're doing. If I wanted a street car, like a cruiser, I'd have an LS or a V8 in general. If I was building, like, if I wanted a high horsepower drag car or drift car or something, I'd probably be more inclined to go with the Barra. So Jess came at me with a ton of questions on the Facebook. Look, this one, we don't have all night, honey. History of vehicles I've owned. I can't even remember every car I've ever owned. I can't hardly remember every car I own now. Like, I struggle with that. Look, some of the standout stuff I've had like, I'll just go as far as saying this. I've had JDM import. I've had V8s. I've had turbo. I've had everything. I've had Mercedes. I've had a ton of different Mercedes, old ones, new ones. The history of vehicles I've had is just so spread out. I mean, even now, like, the cars that I own currently are so spread out. I've got the Laser, the Honda, the Mazda. I've got the truck. I've got another Laser, actually, too. I've got 2 Lasers. I've loosely got a VW Beetle, which it's not mine, but yeah, I'd say once I pay some money, it will be. And then like the missus, we've got like her daily, so Nissan. So yeah, like I've got my Rodeo as well. See, this is what I mean. Like I forget what I even own. So the history, I can't go into the entire history of what I've had. It's just too many. So this is an easier one from Jess. The gear I use. So right now I'm just on a GoPro Hero Black. It's a 12. I was going to buy a 13, but the thing with the 13 is it went to a new battery, and I've got a 9, I've got a 10 as well. And it was like, you know what, I'll keep the same battery style. I'll just keep that, it all works. Everything was all compatible with what I had. I've got an external mic. It's a Joby mic. GoPro's in a small rig. I've got like a pistol grip on it and whatnot. Currently, right now, it's on a tripod. I was going to do all of this vlog with a DSLR. So I've got 2 Canon DSLR cameras. I've got like a couple of big lenses and whatnot. I honestly don't use them a whole lot. More for filming motorsport stuff I do. I've also got the DJI Mini Pro 4 drone. That's my baby. I absolutely love that. It's the best couple of grand I ever spent. As well as, and then I've got all the accessories, all the different lights, and I've got like things that clip onto the small rig, different lights. So I've got like handheld lights and stuff. So but most of the time I'm just on the GoPro Hero 12. So last one from Jess, I promise. I think you're the only person to get 3 out of me, but This was a good one. What's my hobbies outside of cars? Well, believe it or not, bikes. So I give the Harley guys a lot of a hard time on the channel. I like to brother and Harley fags and whatever, and like really give them a hard time. But I've got a Harley. I've had several Harleys. I've had several bikes in general. I've had R1s. I've had I had a ZR750 recently that I sold. I've had adventure bikes, dirt bikes. But yeah, I like bikes. So 2026, we may even see a bit of Harley content because I send my old girl. So I've got an old show bike that I've neglected for a very long time. It's just been sitting in the corner. Occasionally you might see it on the channel, you know, not so much recently, but a while back, you know, I used to do little things where I'd come out of the garage and, you know, the garage door would be coming up or whatever, and you just see a snippet of the bike. But it's an old school, full-blown show bike, but old school, you know, not like this new Sydney Middle Eastern gold and white and V-Rod and all that stuff. This is an old Dyna. It's got a hot motor, it's got big bars, it's aggressive, all airbrushed and everything. Like it's a cool bike. So yeah, so my hobbies outside of cars is bikes. Other than that, yeah, family and holidays, travel, all that stuff, you know, try and integrate all that in as well a bit, but this seems to take up most of my time. So I got one here from Frankie Lancaster, and he asks me if the Yellow Banana is still the fastest Lancer in Newcastle. Now, the Yellow Banana was probably before my time. I'm 36 years old. Been going into foreshore since I was about 15. Back in the CR, iPleaser days, you know, Josh is a good mate of mine that had CR. I actually drove that car on my L's. So yeah, I believe that was that sort of era, new elapsed days. Look, I can't remember the Yellow Banana right off the top of my head. I've probably seen it. I probably know the car. Show me a photo. I probably know it. But my question to you, Frankie, is your Lancer faster than it? And when can I drive it? Right, a few more questions to go. We're getting towards the end. My phone has actually lit up a couple of times since I've been sitting here too, and it's like 9 o'clock at night. So this one's from Gary Christopherson. Now, he's one of my racing buddies, races a Renault Megane, you know, older fella, top bloke, a lot of respect for you, Gary. And this is an important one. This is a good one. And basically he's asking, do I think that the people in tuned cars doing dumb shit on the street shines like a negative light on the car scene? And the answer is yes. If you are doing dumb stuff in your car in a public setting, and this is the thing, right? Like, everyone's got a phone out, everyone's GoPro, everyone's videoing, you know, everything's going on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat, whatever else. The simple answer is yes. If you do dumb shit on the street, it puts a bad image on the entire scene. Now, that being said, right place, right time. I'm a big advocate of open racetracks, open burnout pads, open drag strips, you know, drift tracks. I'm a big advocate of all of that. Because if you don't, then people are going to do it on the street. Now, I'm not a drag racer, but I'm not going to drive 2.5 hours. Actually, I'll tell you a quick story. When I was a young fella, I was about 17 years old. I was 17 years old. My mate Kyle Barry, one of my best mates, we went down to Sydney Dragway, and he had a V6 Commodore that was like pretty heavily modified for what it was, you know. And we're on a P plates. We're on this law of you can't have a turbo, you can't have a V8. So we made do with what we had. And he had this pretty schmick Commodore for what it was. We went down to what was called a Wicked Wednesday. So we had to finish work early. We worked together, both down at Donaldson at Wong. And we finished work early. We both put in and asked the permission. You know, how stupid's that? Finished work early, and we got in the car. A couple of our friends met us there, and, you know, like at our work, left the car there and whatnot. And we all piled down in this VP Commodore down to Wicked Wednesday down at Sydney Dragway. And we got there, and it was just a nightmare. The scrutineering, they knocked back things on his car, which rightfully so, they were wrong, but we had scrutineering issues. Then we had the problem that he wasn't 18. He needed a parent or a guardian to sign for him, and it's like, parent and guardian's 3 hours the other way, you know, like, who's going to sign for us? And there was, he had a VN Aero, it was black, had velocity stacks out the bonnet and the cage. I think numplate from memory was Fearsome, like a Lebo guy. And he goes, I'm your guardian tonight, cuz. And Kyle's like, oh, okay, you know, we were little kids, like we're 17 years old. But this guy, he signed for us, absolute champion, and get out and lines up, and I'll go over, and I'm there on my old flip out bloody phone ready to video, and yeah, you know, he got a total of 2 runs the whole night. 2 runs. It cost us in lost wages by finishing early. It cost us the fuel to get there. It cost us the event. It cost us the food at the event. It cost, you know, the whole night. It cost a lot of money for 2 17-year-olds to go drag racing and get 2 runs. Now, I'm not saying that I condone the behaviour. I'm not saying that it's the right thing to do, but our drive home was more fun. Our drive home with all our mates in the car and everything else, and racing other people on the street, you know, out of the lights and whatnot, you know, in SS Commodores and whatever, we had a ball. So, look, if there's nowhere to do it, then that's what they're going to do. They're going to do it on the street. Open up more tracks. Give people more facilities to do this stuff, and then therefore they don't do dumb shit on the street, and it won't shine negative light on tuned cars. Right, so Paulie Max come at me with the, what's the favourite video I've ever made? I mean, it's been asked like 6 times now. I can't put a favourite on it, but I will say the mud run. So this year, the mud run, a lot of reasons why it's my favourite, probably because it made me a fair bit of money. But yeah, it was generally, it's the video that I did that's blown up the most. Now look, I'm a small channel, I don't have this huge following. I'm hoping that this video gets a bit of, it'll get a few views because of the engagement, you know, answering questions for people. But yeah, the mud run video, that's probably one of my favourites. I haven't actually watched it all the way through. I watched all the drone footage. The drone footage was sick. I was actually getting right in there and, you know, racing around with the cars and stuff, and the organisers were like, yeah, just do whatever, we don't care. And I'm like, ooh, excellent. Because at motorsport events, they're like, get rid of the drone, and it's just like... Righto, last question. I just checked my phone. That's it, we're cut off, no more. And this one's from Lockie Bidner. So Lockie, young fella from the Hunter Valley, he's got a big Jadamo sticker on the back of his car, big supporter, thanks mate. He wants to know what the nicest car I've had in the last 10 years is. Now, like I said before, I've had so many cars, but in the last 10 years, I'd be right on the cutoff actually. What are we, 2025? No, I would have had it. Yeah, I had my E500. So I had a 2007 E500 in 2015. And Mercedes-Benz, absolute top-of-the-line luxury, everything. It was beautiful. My mate had the brand new C200 at the time. Sorry, not C200, C63. It was a speed shift. It wasn't brand new. It was 2012. It was like 3 years old. But we'd go down Star City, down to the casino, because that's what we used to do. We were all out, you know, the bracelets and the chains and all the bloody fancy watches, and throw heaps of cash around because, you know, that's what we were into. But we'd go and we'd park out the front there, you know, and they'd have the cars out there on display. And I mean, back then they were cool cars. Now they're still cool cars, but yeah, but that's probably the nicest, in my opinion, nicest car I've had. I actually got rid of the E500. I felt it was a little bit plastic. So around 2000, Chrysler got involved with Mercedes-Benz, and just the quality of certain things like the leathers and stuff, it was all still good quality stuff, but it just wasn't the same quality. So I got rid of that and I got an E430. It was a 1998 model. Now this car was gangster. It was proper gangster. I had that through to about 2018. But yeah, big mafia looking thing. I had SL500 wheels, like big, you know, staggered with a deep dish on the back, straight pipe, black windows. Like it was a proper gangster car, and just the quality of it. Like it didn't have TV screens and stuff all through it, but like the wood grain was like proper quality wood grain. The leather was just, yeah. And I got it with low Ks and everything, and it had been really well looked after. I was the third owner of it. And yeah, so I mean, those two cars are probably in the last 10 years the nicest cars I've had. The biggest head turner I probably would have had, like the car that got the most notoriety, I guess you could call it, the most well known, was probably my wide body Hilux. it was pretty wild. Wasn't necessarily nice, but it was pretty wild. It had a lot of work done to it. It was that was the first car that I raced. So yeah. But anyway, guys, I'm wrapping it up. Thank you so much for everyone who asked a question. I hope that this has been like an informative thing and that, you know, everyone's enjoyed watching it. But yeah, to wrap off the year, thank you guys. Without everyone that watches, there's no point doing this. The kids, you'll notice I try not to swear. I try, and if there is swear words, I bleep them out or whatever. I'm trying to be a good role model here. Like I'm trying to be someone that these kids can look up to, and not, you know. And I know I look like an idiot and everything. Kids, you don't look like me, but I'm trying to be a good role model. I'm trying to be someone that they can, you know. If one of these kids messaged me and they had trouble, you know, I'd help them. That's the person I am. But so without you guys, this is pointless. And so thank you. Appreciate you all. Much love. And see you next year, 2026. Like, subscribe, share. And let's go, baby.
Time again to go to war with the metaphors. I'm here to kill any chance it has, like menopause.